I'm a Republican Latina. Of course they're going to tell me that I have a nopal en la frente. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course ICE doesn't scare me. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course they're going to call me racist. Before you see this one, just letting you know, for all the softies on the internet, you guys are going to be mad. I'm a Republican Latina who can do both. I'm a Republican Latina who only believes in two genders. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course the lefties are going to tell me that I'm going to be deported. I'm a Republican Latina who 100% believes that Jesus should be put back in the classrooms. I'm a Republican Latina, and I don't support no fucking rainbow flag. I'm a Republican Latina, and I believe that if you came here illegally, you could get the fuck out. I'm a Republican Latina who's anti-abortion. I'm a Republican Latina who believes in protecting our borders. I'm a Republican Latina who likes my culture, but I love my country more. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course they're gonna call me a torta. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course I believe in keeping dicks out of women's sports and bathrooms. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course they're always gonna tell me I will never be like them, aka white. I'm a Republican Latina. Of course I'm gonna be called a traitor. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course I'm not gonna be claimed by the raza. I'm a Republican Latina, and of course I believe in making America great again.
Hi, I'm Republican Latina here with this beautiful Helen that follows me. I am honored that we not only met in this historic day, women for Trump, Hispanics for Trump, Latinas for Trump, and we have a bright future as women. We are the future of this country. We know what a woman is, we defend women, and we're all for Papi Trump.
Viva Trump.
Viva Trump, si se pudo.
I have so many Hispanic haters down my DM calling me names, saying I have no heart, I'm not empathetic with the mass deportations. First of all, I voted for that. But second of all, I want to clarify something. I want to take you guys back to 2017 when President Trump offered DACA a pathway to citizenship on 3 separate occasions, okay? All he said was, give me money for my border wall and border security. And I'll include a pathway for over 1.2 million people, contingent that they do have a criminal record, have jobs, etc. Democrats, under the leadership of Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House, denied it on 3 separate occasions. And you want me to feel bad? See, every other racial or ethnicity in this country, whether it's Jewish Americans, whether it's, smart ones, right? Because we have a lot of retarded ones. Whether it's the Syrian people, President Trump was open to meeting with everybody this last election cycle, and he did. Libertarians, the Maha people in Kennedy's camp, the Cuban Americans, they all get things done in Washington, D.C. You're telling me Mexican Americans and Hispanics that want amnesty or some sort of pathway to citizenship aren't able to organize rally and meet with President Trump before the election? Why don't you guys do that? Oh, because you can't organize and you can't get shit done. All you can do is cry racism when shit goes bad, like it's happening right now. Yeah, that's why I don't feel bad.
Florida for more than half his life and worked for the same construction job for many decades. Every day that goes without him here is a day lost forever. This is about being human, about love, connection, and presence. The one thing he needs the most is the one thing that we're being kept from giving him, which is us. I feel that it would be immoral and inhumane to let a man who is suffering, who is terminally ill, spend what little time he has left in pain and isolation. Please don't let him die in a cell. Please don't let his vital memories be of those of pain and isolation.
I was convinced that voting for Trump was for the economy or against crime, when in reality I was supporting a man and a movement that dehumanizes people. He basically built his platform on targeting immigrants, spreading hate, and
I feel that it would be immoral and inhumane to let a man who is suffering, who is terminally ill, spend what little time he has left in pain and isolation. Please don't let him die in a cell. Please don't let his vital memories be of those of pain and isolation. The American flag stands for compassion, kindness, liberty, and justice for all. We're all human, and today I'm asking for one human act of compassion to please let my dad come home.
Yes, to the lady.
these days it would be for me to say that I wasn't thinking when I voted or that I don't watch the news. I had to ask myself the same question that hundreds of you are asking me, is why did I vote the way I did? I've spent the last few days reflecting, and I feel like I came through some sort of revelation, or like blindfolds were ripped off my eyes. I started seeing things differently. I questioned my beliefs, my choices, and my role in all of it. I started to realize that it wasn't just this one choice I made. It was kind of a accumulation of choices I've been making for years. Like, for example, when I had my first daughter, I never taught her Spanish because I didn't care to have her learn Spanish. And after having my second daughter, I kind of knew that I was a hardworking man. He raised me and my 4 siblings, and now he's fighting for his life in a cell. I'm still fighting with everything I have to see if I can get him released, so that he's able to spend his final days at home surrounded by his family and his children. When I voted for Trump, I supported the very system that allows this kind of cruelty to happen. That is a choice that I have to live with. Some people have said that my family deserves this, or that I or my dad deserve it, or that
one thing your dad needs the most is his family. And that is the one thing that his own daughter kept from him by voting for Trump, because you thought you were white. But this is the most extreme reality check for you, that your proximity to whiteness, that your white husband, your white baby, your white in-laws, your new white family, none of that means you are white. And it's not going to protect you, and it didn't protect your dad. You voted for a man who you knew was immoral and inhumane, who ran on mass deportation and said,
"They're poisoning the blood of our country." That's what they've done.
Immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. He's talking about your dad. He's talking about you. But you thought other people would suffer, and you were perfectly okay with that because you thought you were white. So that makes you immoral and inhumane for voting for Trump. And therefore, you voted for your own father, who is suffering, who is terminally ill, to spend what little time he has left in pain and isolation, to die in a cell with his final memories being pain and isolation. You got to spend the rest of your life knowing that this is how your father died because of your vote. This is an extreme example of how pathetically desperate some brown and black people are for white acceptance and white validation. They will trade in their own family and loved ones for it. That self-hate that stems from generations of internalized racism, the need to still assimilate to whiteness, is still so ingrained in so many Latinos, who will erase themselves just to be disposable to people who will never accept them. She's a perfect example. She was dumb enough to let those people use her for her vote, and now she's disposable to them in the worst way possible.
So this is where fantasy shatters. The proud supporters now face a reality they ignored. Their own family is getting ripped apart, crying on camera, begging for help. But this ain't sympathy season. Voting for mass deportation wasn't just words, it was a death sentence for their loved ones. They chose Trump's America over their own blood. And Trump, he never promised protection, just chaos for anyone he deemed other. This is the price of being blinded by a lie. And sadly, it's only getting worse.
What irks my soul is seeing some of you Trumpies talk about legality and how these undocumented immigrants shouldn't be here, and they're happy they're being deported because they broke the law and they should have done it the legal way, knowing damn well you break the law on a daily basis. Talking about legality as if you're not sniffing that every single time you go out clubbing every weekend. Talking about legality as if you're not popping pills every time you go to a music festival. Talking about legality when you don't even file your taxes correctly or claim all your tips and wages. Talking about legality as if you're not dating that thug-ass boyfriend that's a scammer, drug dealer. 1, you don't give a shit about the law. And 2, you talk about don't threat on me, I limited government. Yeah, you're rooting for a militarized force to go against protesters. Those hippie liberals from California, those deranged freaks, are way more anti-establishment than your ass. Than you gun-toting, liberty defenders will ever fucking be. You're a bootlicker.
I was discussing with my mom the family members that we have who are Trump supporters. One, we understand. She's born here in the United States. I don't know how many generations American. So she didn't grow up the way that my family from Mexico grew up. So she doesn't understand. She's very religious. So I think we don't agree with her political views, but we can see why she is gravitating in that direction. But there's a couple of other ones who were actually born in Mexico who crossed over illegally. And now they both are citizens, one in the military, the other one married to a United States citizen. And we just can't fathom why they would support someone who is so against who is so against their very existence and their families. Like, it just makes no sense. But I think we got to the bottom of it. I think what it is that they are dying inside to be white. They live in an area that's full of white people, if I remember correctly. I don't really have a lot of communication with them, but they are most definitely dying to be white people, and they're bending over backwards and fucking smiling at the racist jokes, but they don't care because they don't see themselves as one of us. They want to be them so bad that they allow the racism and the insults to our people, and they take it with a smile. And I think that's Latinos for Trump in a nutshell. Like, if they voted for Trump and they're Latino, specifically those who are actually immigrants from other countries or first, even second generation Latinos. Sorry, I was rudely interrupted by someone. But as I was saying, I think that is Latinos for Trump in a nutshell. They want to be white so bad that they just bend over backwards for the oppressor and they take it with a smile. It's kind of sad. But, that was my insight for the day.
Do you know who is starting to come across my FYP that is totally pissing me off? It's not maggots. Well, it is the maggots. They're a piece of shit and they're dumb as hell. They piss me off every day. But it is this whole group of the Latinos that went and voted for Donald Trump. I guess you could say they fucked around and found out. And they went and voted for a man that we told them do not vote for. They went and voted for the man that said he is going to do exactly what he's doing. And they want sympathy from us? I don't care. I don't care at all. Fuck you. And I hope you get deported.
No sugarcoating here. These women are speaking facts. The pain, the betrayal, the internal conflicts in the Latino community lands deep. Wanting to be white, turning against your own people, that's the root of this mess. But hearing too late isn't just warning. It's a cold reality check. When you help tear apart your own community, there is no undo button. This isn't just politics, this is identity, loyalty, and survival. And as the next elections come, remember these voices. Because if this cycle continues, no one wins. Only more pain, more division, and more regret.
To everyone all over the world. I am your lovely host, Beryl. Thank you so much for all of you who've been here since day one. And if you're new here, we talk about bold stories going around the world, especially the United States. And we are at 104 subscribers. Thank you. Mwah. I appreciate you. Now let me not waste much of your time and let's dive right into it. You've watched the video compilation that I just shared with you. She believed voting for Trump would actually protect her future. But now the consequences are just closing in. The consequences are just there for her. A Latina who once voted for Donald Trump watches in horror as her own father is targeted for deportation. Don't joke with ICE. You are a minority community group. You thought you were safe? Shock on you. So guys, welcome. #FAFO. Please subscribe. We are gonna take more explanation on this. So, so in today's video, you've watched it. We examine how a heartbreaking twist of political choice, identity, and now the consequence. So when you support policies, you sometimes support their effects. It's not sometimes, it's true. Even when they hit close to home. Okay? So in this story, we have a daughter's vote, which is causing her and her family such a nightmare. She chose this, remember? She's defended, she defended like her decision. It's about the economy, it's about crime, it's about making America safer, making America great again. Like, she really did try to defend her vote and all the actions that made her choose DT. But now she's facing like painful reality. Her father could be deported. Yeah, he's lived there. He's lived in the United States of America. He's provided, he's sacrificed. Yet, under these new policies, he's very much vulnerable and could be deported. So this is not just about a theory. It's something that is happening. This is flesh and blood. It's not something I came up with. It's happening. So, legislation, executive orders, immigration enforcement, those aren't abstracts. They tear families apart. And you can see clearly from the video. So, hashtag FAFO. You know what it means? F around and find out, right? And it's hitting hard, hitting the nail on the top. Do. Because she did what? She voted for DT, and now it's impacting her loved ones. It's painful, but FAFO season, right? So here's what the real conversation begins. Policy versus personal. Like when policies become personal, we see human costs slogan. Okay? We see the human costs behind the slogan. Another thing that we need to look into is irony versus accountability, which clearly all of these points she's trying to show us to take those points from her action. She supported a platform that promised strength and law enforcement. Now she faces the consequences. She said she wants an America that is crime free. So, what are they doing? Deporting her father to make America crime free. Irony versus accountability. We go ahead. Another thing we need to discuss is identity clash. Latino, immigrants, American. Many live in this tension, but who is going to benefit? Who is harmed? Who? Like whether you're American, you're Latino, what is going on? Who is identity crisis? Clash. Another thing, political awakening. This is where the drill juice is. This story might just shock her, but it's warning for the many. What you vote for may one day live under. Consequences have to be there, and karma is a real. Yes, that is karma for you. So, this is just not about shaming, it's about the truth. Okay? We must look at our beliefs, our votes, and ask who pays the cost. Let's demand accountability, justice, and compassion. If you believe in humane policy, in protecting families, not tearing them apart, then speak up. Share this story, break the echo chamber, amplify the voices. You know, they were even singing, I control. No, 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 Donald Trump. You know, I don't blame them because you have to be having a stand and they chose to stand with him. But the fact that people went on social media just to share and tell them, you know what, please don't vote for this person. He doesn't care about the minority communities. He only cares about himself. America has been great and he's just going to make it worse. Did they listen? And when they were telling them, some black communities and black people all over the social media are just begging and telling them, this person is going to bring all these consequences you're seeing, the deportation, the ICE. And now, do you know, I don't know, there are a lot of consequences. Farmers are having a lot of it right now, since most of them in Iowa voted for him. Now, soybeans, the tariffs, the medical tariffs, like America is being slammed left, right, center, left, right, center. It's tough. And the deportation, and you saw how ICE is behaving on that black apartment. And the fact that some Latinos thought that they would be exempted because apparently they thought that because they are almost white, they wouldn't be in this fiasco. They thought that it would only affect black colored people. Shock on you, jokes on you. So long as they consider you as a minority community group, you're gonna get the consequence. And now see, your father, who's been there for ages for you, is getting the consequences of your action because you voted for something that you don't understand the policies, and even if you did, you didn't consider other communities. You only thought about yourself, thinking it would exempt you from all of it. It's 5-4 season. Na, 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 na. Anyway, guys, we are at 104. And I just said it jokingly. We're gonna get verified by the end of the year, 1,000 subs. Why? Because I'm bringing bold, authentic, interesting topics. Remember, you're entitled to your own opinion, but please let's be respectful in the comment section. Tell me what you think about this whole fiasco. The deportation, the Latino community, like involvement in MAGA supporters, and this girl's opinion. Like, just share what you genuinely think. Yay! Thank you so much. Please subscribe. And I love you. Take care of yourself. Have a lovely week. Mwah.